Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely fantastic, super colorful piece of writing by the distinguished author, diplomat, and Member of Parliament Shashi Tharoor. We're going to be looking at his passionate and honestly pretty hilarious defense of how language naturally evolves. Specifically, we're focusing on the incredibly vibrant world of Indian English. If you're someone who loves words, culture, and just seeing how we humans literally bend language to fit our everyday lives, you're absolutely going to love this. Let's get into it. So, quick question. Have you ever tried to prepone a meeting? Now, if you live in India, you probably do this all the time without a second thought. Shashi Tharoor, actually famously and with a bit of a wink, claims that he coined this highly useful word prepone as the literal direct opposite of postpone. And honestly, just think about it for a second. Instead of using clunky multi-word phrases like, advance the meeting or move the appointment earlier, prepone just does the job perfectly. One word, super efficient, boom. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the case for Indian English, why prepone belongs in the dictionary. Tharoor's broader argument here is that when words serve a real practical purpose and are widely understood by millions of people, they absolutely deserve official acceptance. They aren't mistakes, right? They're necessary innovations. Just think about American English for a moment. It has its own distinct variations that are accepted globally without question. Americans say fall instead of autumn, they use gotten instead of have got, and no one even blinks an eye. So Tharoor argues, why on earth should highly practical Indian expressions like fortnight or do the needful be considered any less valid? Just like American English, Indian English has established its own clear, globally recognized identity. And this crucial point is captured perfectly by Tharoor himself. He says if enough people find a word or phrase useful, it is legitimate. Because language isn't just some static museum exhibit locked behind glass. It's a dynamic, living tool. It shifts, it breathes, and it changes according to the practical, everyday needs of the millions of people who use it. If a word works for millions of people day in and day out, well, it's a real word. Period. Moving right along to Section 2, a dictionary of Indianisms. Words born from everyday necessity. Let's look at some of these highly creative words that developed naturally through everyday Indian communication. You'll hear these in schools, busy offices, courts, homes, everywhere. For instance, non-veg. It simply and effectively means meat-based food. Or take mugging. Now, if a student is mugging, they aren't out robbing anyone in the streets, they're just studying intensively for an exam. Then we have air dash, which is just a brilliant, action-packed compound word for urgent air travel. And a history sheeter, that perfectly describes a habitual criminal with a long police record. Now, while these might sound a bit unusual to an outsider, they efficiently capture uniquely Indian realities in a way that standard English just kind of misses. This brings us to Section 3, the culture behind the words, how values shape vocabulary. You see, Indian English isn't just about speed or administrative efficiency. It's actually a profound reflection of local Indian manners, traditions, and social values. Language holds up a mirror to the society that speaks it, right? Take the phrase, "What is your good name?" This is a direct translation from formal, respectful phrasing found in local Indian languages. While you won't really hear this in British or American English, where a direct "what's your name" does the trick, in India, adding the word good perfectly conveys an intrinsic cultural courtesy. It's like this built-in layer of respect when you're addressing someone new or maybe someone older than you. And this brilliant intrinsic courtesy brings us right to the phrase, kindly adjust. This is way more than just a simple request. It is the ultimate symbol of Indian adaptability. Picture a crowded train or squeezing onto a packed bus seat in a bustling Indian city. When someone asks you to kindly adjust, they're politely asking you to make just a little more room, to accept a slight inconvenience so absolutely everyone can fit. It perfectly represents patience, accommodation, and the reality of navigating life in a densely populated, super vibrant society. Up next, Section 4, Innovation versus Grammatical Error, Knowing Where to Draw the Line. Now, what's really interesting about this is that validating Indian English as a vibrant, living language absolutely does not mean we just throw the entire rulebook out the window. We still have to distinguish between creative Indianisms and actual grammatical errors. Words like prepone and phrases like kindly adjust actually enrich the language. They fill a cultural and practical gap. But saying return back, that's entirely redundant. You just need to say return. Same goes for wave off. It's an error. The correct term is simply wave. Tharoor is very clear on this point. We should absolutely celebrate cultural innovation, but redundant mistakes shouldn't be accepted just because they happen to be common. So to quickly summarize our core takeaways today, Indian English is a living, incredibly practical language. It's heavily influenced by local culture and values. It's easy to understand for its users, rich in brand new expressions that fill very specific needs, and, maybe most importantly, it's widely used across all levels of society, from government administration to the media right down to daily informal life. It has totally survived the test of time, which, when you think about it, is the ultimate proof of its validity. Tharoor actually brings this entire argument to a beautiful crescendo, stating, "Our English is a vigorous language, which draws strength from local roots." It's a really powerful call to action for Indians to proudly celebrate their specific, vibrant variety of English, to draw strength from it, instead of feeling the need to apologize for it or trying to conform perfectly to some outdated British standard. And then, he ends his essay with this incredibly confident, totally humorous thought: "If you don't like it, kindly adjust." I just love that. It is literally the ultimate mic drop. He takes the exact cultural phrase he just spent the essay defending and uses it to politely yet firmly tell the critics to make room for this valid, evolving language. Just brilliant. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder. How does your local culture shape the way you speak? Think about your own town, your specific profession, or even just your friend group. You're likely inventing new language and adapting old words every single day to fit your environment without even realizing it, because language is alive. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep paying attention to the fascinating ways we use words. See you next time.